Yes, it's that time of the week, the time when I show you my cover buys for New Comic Book Day, February 23rd, 2022. Stay tuned for the video.
Anachronic.
Hi comic book guys and gals, I'm Joe and welcome to Anachronic Comics. Now this week's top cover from the 1960s is Action Comics number 360 with a cover date of April 1968. It is effectively an 80-page giant. This is DC's progression from the original separately numbered annuals, and it contains reprinted stories from 1961 and 1962 featuring the pre-crisis Supergirl. Now this somewhat unique cover for the times was penciled by Curt Swan and inked by George Klein. The cover of Action Comics 360 effectively shows a game board where each square provides an insight into one of the stories making up Supergirl's secret life prior to being announced to the world by Superman. Now, here's some history. Supergirl made her first appearance in Action Comics number 252. This was in May of 1959 and was created by Otto Binder and Al Plastino. Superman concealed Kara's existence from the world, disguising her with a brunette wig and covertly instructing her on the use of her powers. Taking the Earth name, Linda Lee, Supergirl resided in an orphanage at Midvale, a suburb that was a short distance from Superman's home in Metropolis. She was eventually adopted by Fred and Etna Danvers, a couple cast from the same mold as Superman's adopted Earth parents, the Kents. 3 years of real time after her arrival on Earth, Supergirl was introduced to the world by Superman in a televised ticker tape parade, and that appeared in Action Comics number 285 from February 1962. During the 1980s and the revolution of the modern age of comics, Superman editors believed that the character's history had become too convoluted, and they killed off Supergirl during the 1985 Crisis on Infinite Earths event, and retconned her out of existence. Then, Senior Vice President Dan Didio reintroduced the character in 2004, along with editor Eddie Berganza and writer Jeff Loeb. No premium cover this week, but I do have a couple of series to show you. The first is the new Ghost Rider series, Ghost Rider number 1. Next up is Department of Truth number 16. This week I have 4 honorable mentions. The first cover on my honorable mention list is from Image. ARROWSMITH, Behind Enemy Lines number 2, the cover C by Greg Smallwood. It's a variant for $3.99. The cover is deceptively simple. A soldier looking out in the distance, but he has what looks like a miniature dragon on his shoulder, and maybe a Japanese rising sun behind him. And the stone he's leaning on says in translation, good thing that I took Latin in high school, Charlemagne in sleep mode. Very curious. Next up is from Antarctic Press, Planet Comics number 5, the cover by Newton Burkham for $3.99. Now Burkham tries to capture the 1950s space covers that I love, and he does a good job capturing the elements, especially the bubble helmets and the wacky looking alien. Next is also from Image, Step by Bloody Step number 1, the Rob CSIKI variant for $4.99. An armored giant and an helpless child. A beautifully drawn cover that is both intriguing and ominous. The last honorable mention for this week is X Deaths of Wolverine number 3, the Ward variant for $4.99. Now I love covers with yellow backgrounds, and this one is interesting in that Wolverine looks to potentially be controlled by some programming? I don't know. But I love covers that keep you guessing. Number 5 is Harley Quinn number 12, the Sun Kamunaki variant B for $3.99. Kamunaki gives us a version of Hartley and Zatanna that reminds me a bit of J. Scott Campbell art. It's a nice depiction of Harley coming out of Zatanna's top hat. The only thing that's missing is a pair of bunny ears on Harley. Number 4 is DC vs. the Vampires number 5, the cover B by Francesco Mattina. It's a cardstock variant for $4.99. Wow. Mattina really captures what looks like the Joker in a transformation to a vampire. The wonderful reds only add to the idea of a bloodthirsty being coming to life right in front of you. Number 3 is Detective Comics number 1054, cover B by BERMEJO. It's a cardstock variant for $5.99. What can you say about BERMEJO other than he is one of the best cover artists around? His portrayals of Batman have been great, especially Batman's facial expressions. But here, Robin, leaning across the cover with the full moon framing him in the action, makes the cover great. For number 2, I picked Black Panther number 4, the 1 in 25 Hans variant for $3.99. Another beautiful cover depicting Shuri, I believe, in full African Wakanda dress. The feathers and birds add a mysterious touch to the representation. Finally, my number one top cover for New Comic Book Day, February 23rd, 2022 is Action Comics number 1040, cover B by TEDESCO. It's a cardstock variant for $5.99. Now, many of you may think this an odd pick as a number one cover, but part of what I look at is artistic touch, but another element is uniqueness. Here, TEDESCO gives us a comical look at various heroes doing their best to beat Superman at arm wrestling. Their facial expressions and Plastic Man's contortions are terrific, and in my mind, make this week's number one cover buy. Now remember to leave a comment on whether you would buy any of the covers I picked or any other based solely on the cover art. So many covers, so little cash. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Be well, and I'll see you soon.